My name is Murtura Enoch, and we are going to revise together conjugation or rationalization. So, what is rationalization? So, that is just the process of changing the denominator or the number of quotients, which is usually done by multiplying the what? The conjugates. So, this is the process of changing the denominator or number of quotients, usually done by multiplying the conjugates. So what does it mean? So what you should understand is that when you are having a plus square root of b, the conjugates of this simply mean that you change the sign a. So the conjugates of this variable a is a minus square root of what? B. Or I can put another example to say the conjugates of what? Negative 4, that is the positive 4. So these are the what? Conjugates. So these are what we call conjugates. So having understood from what I'm explaining, so what you are going to do is that you are going to start now solving the what? The examples that you have on the board there. So the first question they are saying, simplify the following. That is A, we are having A to be 1 over A plus square root of B. So before I start solving this kind of question, what you should note or what you should bear in mind is that when you are having the square root of A multiplied by what? By A, this will result into you getting the result of A. But when you are multiplying, the thing that is different, that is square root of what? A multiplied by square root of B. This simply means that you are multiplying what is inside and the square root it. So that is A multiplied by what? B. So now we can now start solving this example. So like I said, we are going to conjugate this denominator. So how are we going to do it? So we are having 1 over A plus B plus square root of B. So its conjugates, it's A minus square root of what? B. We are multiplying the what? The denominator with its conjugates also the numerator, that is A minus square root of B. So when you multiply 1 times this variable, you are going to obtain A minus square root of what? B. And then here, these two variables under the denominators, they are multiplying each other. So this part is being multiplied with everything there inside the brackets. So this A is going to be multiplied with those things. That is A, open brackets, A minus square root of B plus square root of B multiplied by A minus square root of B. So from there, what you are going to do is that you simplify. To simplify, you leave your answer in what? Lowest term. So you are having A minus square root of b over a times a, that is a square. A times what? Times negative square root of b, that is negative a square root of b. So positive square root of b times a, you are having positive a square root of b. And then here, since you are having the thing under the square root, they are what? They are similar. Meaning you are going to obtain the variable which is common, which is b. Now, positive times negative is what? Negative b. So from here, what you are going to do? So this is negative a plus a, that one. What you are going to do that, you are going to subtract. Now, this part they are going to cancel each other. Why? Because they are similar. And you are going to remain with a minus square root of b over a square minus b. So, to simplify further, what you are going to do is that you are going to couple them. So, that is a, this is a divided by a square minus b. You write this sign, that is negative square root of b over the denominator, which is a square minus b. So this is our final solution. So we can also proceed to the second question. So b, we are having b, which is 2 plus square root of 3 over 3 square root of 3 minus 1. So what you are going to do, you just going to get the denominator by changing what? Its sign. But another thing that I can tell you, majority of the people like to do what? To rearrange the denominator so that they only change the variable of the what? Of the side, which is 2 plus square root of 3 over negative 1. This is positive square root of what? 3. So now we can conjugate, because we have written this kind of what? Expression in its standard form. Conjugation means that you are simply changing the what? The sign of the denominator. So that is negative 1. This is positive minus square root of 3 square root of 3. So you are multiplying. So this simply means that this entire expression is being multiplied with everything there inside the bracket. So I'm going to get 2 negative 1 negative square root of 3 positive square root of 3 negative 1 minus square root of 3 over, this is negative 1 open brackets negative 1 negative square root of 3 positive square root of 3 negative 1 minus square root of 3. Now, when you reach at this stage, it's just the matter of what? Multiplying each variable into what is inside the brackets. So that is 2 times that's negative 2. That's times that's negative 2 square root of 3. That's times that, so positive times negative, that is negative. So negative square root of 3. And then this is common inside the what? The square root. They are common. So you get the value which is common, and then you look at the sign. So this is positive times negative. You see? Negative. What is common? 3 over. So negative 1 times negative 1, that is positive 1. Negative times negative, which is positive square root of 3. So negative times positive is negative square root of 3. So here, when you look at the denominator, these things are what? Are common. So I'll just write positive times negative is negative. What is common, which is the 3. So from there, what you are going to do is to simplify. So if you subtract here, these things they are going to disappear. You're going to get 0. And then here, this is negative what? Negative 2 minus 3. Which is negative what? Negative 5. So negative 5. These are like what? They are like terms. So what you are going to do, this simply means that here the coefficient is 1. You are subtracting negative 2 minus 1. That simply means that you are going to get negative 3 square root of 3 over what? This is positive 1 minus 3, which is negative 2. To simplify this further, what you are going to do, you have to leave it in standard form, where you are going to get real part with the side, that is negative 5 over negative 2 minus 3 square root of what? 3 over negative 2. So here they are going to cancel each other, that is 5 over 2, that is plus 3 square root of 3 over 2. So this is our final answer.